following episode of Dad vs. Daughter Playthroughs was made possible by a contribution from Rio Grande Games.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Dad vs. Daughter. I'm Tim the Dad.
I'm Megan the Daughter.
And today we are playing Roll for the Galaxy. Now this is basically the dice version of Race for the Galaxy. Both games are by Rio Grande Games. So we really like this game. It's kind of a spoiler that I'm telling you that up front and not waiting for our review. But we'll get into why we like it here in a minute. But the first thing I want to do is I just want to point out the artwork on this box. I think this is really cool.
The artwork in this game is really good, yeah.
I know some of it
It's
takes directly from the card game, but some of this is new. I like this dice here, or die, and how they show the different symbols on there. I don't know. It's really cool, and it pops. Yeah. So let's talk about the game. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you don't know how to play Race for the Galaxy. And if you do, then just kind of bear with us and you'll kind of catch the subtle changes that we have. So the object of the game is to have the most points at the end, just like any other game. The way we get to the end of the game is we either have 12 planets or developments built in our tableau, or we run out of the victory points. And what we're going to do in a two-player game, it says you use 12 victory points per player. So in a two-player game, we are going to use 24 victory points. And the little chits look like this. This is a 1, this is a 5. And then we have these 10s set up that we'll use later when we run out of if we run out of the chits. So Megan, you want to talk about the little player shield?
Okay, so the player shield looks like this, and it folds up so that way you can have a little barrier like so.
Because you're going to roll your dice in secret, so you don't want the other people to know what you're rolling.
And then on the inside, it's a huge cheat sheet, which I really like because it's helpful for new players or just referencing as you go along. So it tells you up here the round summary, so basically what you do, how you start off your game, which is nice. How you reveal your dice and how you do the phases, which comes over to this huge section, which breaks everything down for you really nicely. And then the manage, which is basically your end of round thing. And then on this side, it tells you more about the trading to get points and your end of game scoring. And then your dice face distribution, which tells you how many of what type of symbol is on the die. So that really comes in handy, especially if you're trying to get certain dice or you're trying to figure out what dice you want back in your cup, because you can kind of play around with that and strategize more that way.
And speaking of dice, to give you a little close-up of what the dice look like, this is all about dice. I mean, there's all these really cool dice and all these different colors. You're going to start with the whites, and then you are going to accumulate the various colors throughout the course of the game through planets or developments. And like Megan said, there's different distributions on the dice. So like the purple one is, they call it the consume dice. And you'll see that it only has certain symbols on it, and it has more of other symbols that help it, with the consume process. Same with the red.
The military.
The red is for military, and this is basically for conquering worlds. So you have a lot of the settle and development icons on that.
Yeah. So basically, because you will start with your white dice, but then other times, when you get to your, what are these called again?
Those are your factions.
Okay, so your factions, you always get one of these at random.
To start the game.
So it will tell you here, you gain a military, which is one of the red dice, into your citizenry, which is on your player board, which we'll get to. So that's how you'll start with a red dice, and you can start adding that in. And then this one will give you red dice for shipping, which is also very important with points and all.
So each person is going to start with one of these, and you'll notice the numbers up top. This is going to be the number of points that these are worth at the end of the game when you're scoring. So this is a development part, and that's going to give you 0 points. But this is a gray world, which will give you 2 points. Now we're also going to have starting worlds.
So you kind of get those at random as well. And they look like this. They have the circle.
And they're marked because they have these shaded corners.
So that's how you know they're starting and they're not like the other worlds that you'll get from the big bag. So there are 9 of these, just as there are 9 of the factions. Yeah. So like they will give you different things. Like so, this one says gain a gene, which is the green dice, on this world at the start of the game. So that way you kind of have that to start with your shipping and your trading. So that's very helpful to kind of get you off on a good start. And it'll tell you very clearly, you know, here have a green dice on the green planet, and then like everything's really coded really well to help you out.
Yeah, they are.
So you're not completely lost. So it's always very helpful, everything they put on here.
Okay, let's look at the couple player boards that we have here. This is our main player board, and show you what this is. This is our citizenry. So any dice that go into our citizenry or that we use, they're going to end up on this spot. We're also going to start the game by drawing 2 tiles out of the tile bag, and we're going to have 1 development and then 1 planet. And once we start with those, then as we explore and we get new tiles out of the bag, we're going to be able to, we don't have to have both of these filled at the same time. We're going to be able to stack. So if I want to really focus on planets, I can just start stacking a bunch of planets on there and never go back to the developments. It also shows the various dice faces here, and it shows down here, this is our money track. And whenever we spend money, we're going to then be able to take dice from our citizenry and put it in our cup and roll it on our turn. Once we get down to 0 money, we're always going to immediately go back to 1. So you're always going to be able to get at least 1 die in your turn.
So yeah, and then, so here are the cups. I don't know if we showed these. They're kind of like mild sippy cups, which I think is kind of cool. But they're really cool. They have like the each, I don't know if you can tell right on camera, but the symbols of all the dice faces. So they're on here. And, you know, you got your dice in there. So it's a really nice cup.
So when you roll your dice behind your shield, what you're going to do is you have your, basically your phase selection board here. So when you roll, you're going to place 1 die on one of these phases. It doesn't have to match the symbol on there. Just, you only get to pick 1. And then any other dice that you roll that has this symbol, you're going to place them below here. And then those are going to be able to be used if someone else chooses that roll. Now, when we choose a roll, you'll notice up here we have all the different rolls here. When somebody chooses one, we're going to flip it over so it doesn't have the X on there. So say that I chose the explore action, and let's say Megan chose the settle action. So she's going to flip that over. So any of the dice that we had below our settle, for me, I'm going to be able to do that because Megan chose that that action. And likewise, if Megan had any dice below the settle, she's going to be able to use those because I chose the explore action.
And since we're doing 2-player, we're going to have like a dummy player, sort of, so it helps us get more of the rolls out, and you'll just roll a white dice for him each time. So that kind of helps maybe have better chances on more actions you can do.
Yeah. Lastly, we've got this little guy in our various colors here. This is going to be used on our board to track how much money that we have. And on our turn, at the end of it, during the Manage Your Empire phase, you have to be able to, well, you have to spend the amount of money that you can in order to get dice out of your citizenry. So say if I had 5 money and I only had 3 dice, then it's only going to cost me $3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I'll start the next turn with $2. But say if I had 5 dice and I only had $3, I'm only going to be able to get 3 dice out of there. I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3. I go back to 0, and then I'll reset to 1 for the next turn. And Rado mentioned in his run through that this does look like his little logo guy running.
Yeah, and they do stand up. Don't make it like the awkward turtle like I did when I first got it.
Okay, I think that about wraps it up, Megan, as far as that. So why don't we get the game set up and we'll play. Okay, so my starting faction is Biological Adaptation, and what that is going to give me is on the development phase, all reassigned power developments require 1 fewer development to complete. So that's going to be helpful. And then also my my world over here on my faction is the Aquatic Uplift world, which is going to give me a green dice to put in my cup at the start. And my starting planet is Alpha Centauri, and that's going to give me a rare element, a brown die, on this world to start.
Okay, so my starting faction is the Consumer's Market. So on the produce phase, I get $1 for each good of a novelty, which is the cyan blue color, world on the end of this phase, and then my planet that comes with it is the Space Mall, so I gain a novelty die into my cup at the start of the game. And then my starting planet here is the Doomed World, so I begin the game with $8 instead of 1.
Yeah, that's a pretty good help.
Start.
Now, I'm going to say this up front is sometimes we do forget some of our special abilities on our starting factions. I'm old, it happens. So don't blast me on the comments too bad because I am forgetful. So what we're going to do is we each start with 5 white dice, and 3 of those dice are going to go directly in our cup. And then because of my starting dice here, I am going to, or my starting things, I'm going to start with a green in my cup and a brown on the world. So I'm going to start with basically 3 white and 1 green in my cup. So you have to choose the tiles that you draw out of the bag. I'll show you this real quick. They are double-sided. On one side, it's going to be the development, and on the reverse side, it's going to be a planet. So when you draw these out of the bag to begin with, actually throughout the entire game, you get to choose which side you want to use. Now, it will tell you in the rules that your first game, you should start with the lowest cost. But now we've played this game quite a bit, so that's why I've got these chosen the way I do. So, actually... How did I have that? I had it like this and this. So there we go. So when we build those, when we roll, we're gonna be placing the dice on top of these, and then when we complete, like this takes 3 dice, this one takes 4. So when we complete those, then we put them into our tableau and we gain the benefit. So hopefully we'll give you guys a good look on how this game plays. So let's go ahead and play is simultaneous. So we're gonna be doing our things all at the same time. So that kind of helps because the game moves pretty fast. So first thing we'll do is we'll roll our dice and then figure out what we want to do.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. One of the things that we've determined that we want to do is when we want to signify that we're done assigning our dice behind our screen, we just take our cup and we turn it upside down so the other player knows that we're done. So then we reveal what we have. I have chosen Settle, so we'll flip this over.
Okay, I chose Explore.
Okay.
And then the dummy player is ship.
Okay. Now, I didn't explain this before, but what this allows me to do is I can dictate one of my dice, and I place it up here, and that means that when I'm not using that die this round. So what I'm going to do is I can reassign any other symbol die to any other phase. So I've chosen to put the green die or to use the dictate to reassign one of my explorers to my my settle. Okay. So first thing you do is you kind of go in order. So
Explore.
Megan gets to explore. So on explore, you get to do one of 2 things. You can either stock, which is going to give you $2, or you can scout, which allows you to take tiles randomly out of this big old black bag.
Which is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then this tile will go underneath for that, and then this dice goes into my citizenry.
Okay, I'm going to stock because I want some money, so that's going to go into my citizenry, and I'm going to get $2.
Okay.
So now we go to...
No one developed.
No one developed, so that goes back into your cup. We go to settle. So I am going to settle, and I will put these 2 on my green planet there, and this is unused, so it'll go back in my cup.
Okay, my produced dice don't really matter because no one did that.
Yeah, nobody chose produce.
Yep.
So we're at the end. So what we do is we go ahead and we flip these back over to show that they are not selected. And we do the Manage Our Empire bit, which you've got 3 dice, so you're only going to have to spend $3 and you're still got a ton of money.
3?
I have 3 dice, so I use all of my money. These go back into my cup, and I reset to 1 die.
Okay.
So then we go on to the next turn.
Okay.
All right, we'll see what he gives us. So he gets an Explorer.
That's good for
you
me.
chose Settle, and I chose Settle.
Okay.
So in this case, we're only going to get 2 different phases this turn.
Okay, but I get to explore. So I'm gonna go ahead and scout. So I'm leeching off of his ability. Or his thing. So let's do, ooh, I like that one. So I'm just gonna go under here. And I've used that dice. So settle. You wanna go first?
Doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is both of those are going to go there. On this is the malevolent life forms. So once I put this into play, because it says gain a gene green good on this world when you place it. So I am going to put a green die on there, and these all go back into my citizenry.
Okay, so all my 3 are going to go on here, and that settles it. So this is the gateway station. Now I can get that.
That is really cool artwork.
Purple die. No, I like that. It's cool. Looks like a Stargate almost. So yeah, I get the purple die into my citizenry. So there's that. Okay, so yeah, these 2 go back in there, and then I have 5, so I can get all my dice.
Yeah. Megan just accidentally put one up onto the dictate area, so.
Oop.
And nobody shipped, so those go back in. Oh, I only have $1, so
yeah.
I'm gonna put this into my
cup.
cup. Zip, zip. Okay, so.
I just.
Oops, we didn't reset these from last turn, so
Oop.
let's roll here and see what he gives us. Okay, so he gives us the Explorer.
I chose settle.
And I chose Ship.
I was going to keep one there, but I didn't have anything.
Okay, so
explore.
I get to explore.
I do too. What are you
so
doing?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to scout.
I'm going to stock 1, so I'm going to get 2 from that, and then I'm going to scout from my other. Let's take this one. Okay.
Wow, this is hard to pass up, even though it costs a lot. I'm going to go ahead and
I know,
choose
that's
that.
where I'm at too. I'm like, do I want to do this, or do I... Oh, I'm going to go for the dice. Not the money.
Well, and since we have, you chose settle, so
yeah,
I'm actually going to be able to put a die on there.
Here, 4 for that, because that's a 6 planet, and then this one's going to go back on my cup.
Okay, now for my shipping, because I have a green world and a green good, and I chose my green dice to ship, that's actually going to be 3 points. I'm going to get a point for green, a point for this green, and a point for that green.
Yep.
So 3 points for me, and this will go back here because I've consumed it. That consume means you're going to basically get your victory points. Trade means you are going to get money.
Yep.
So I consumed. So because I use that, that's going to go back there. I only have $1, so.
I have 2.
Wow. Which die do I want to use?
3, so I have 1.
And I consult this chart a lot because I'm like, well, what do I really want to do? I think I'm going to go ahead and I can only choose the 1 die there.
Okay, ready?
Yep. Kind of pointless for me to roll because I only have 1 die.
Oh, you still got to roll. Okay, so I chose settle.
I chose ship.
Okay, what's he choosing?
He chooses develop.
Which I don't have.
Oh, no, I don't either.
Settle, so I've got 2. So that is the 6 that I need.
Wow, you got that done fast.
Alien Centennial, so gain $3. So 1, 2, 3. Oop, little me will stay up there. And then a Alien Tech, which is a yellow die, into my cup when I place this world. So I'm going to get a yellow into my cup. So that's pretty good.
Okay.
I like the alien dice.
The only thing I'm doing is I am shipping, and I think what I'm going to do is I am going to trade. Well, do I want to trade? You know what? No. I'm going to go ahead and consume because I've got a brown on a brown. So that's going to get me 2 points. So I'll take these 2 points over here. And
I'm taking these.
Still only have $1.
Got you $1.
Yeah. Oh, you got to be quicker than that.
And reset this.
Oh, yep.
You've got that half. I've got this half. And go.
Again, why am I rolling when I have 1 die?
Because you have to. It's in the rules. I'm just gonna do that. Okay, you ready?
Okay, so we reveal. I chose produce.
I did develop.
And you chose
woo!
explore.
Yeah, that helps
You
me
chose
out.
develop.
Yeah, and you did
I did produce.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to stock for 1 so I can get some money, and then I'm going to scout for 2. So let's pull out 2 from the big bag of stuff. That one's good too. I'm going to try for these and hope I get something good. And then develop is 2 for that, and this one goes away.
Okay,
and you've got,
I produced, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that there.
Okay, and
so that's
manage.
it. Manage, I'm going to get 1.
3.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Reset these.
Yep. And
again, why am I rolling?
because you have to. Don't mess with the system.
Alright. And what we got? So explore.
That helps me. I did develop.
And I did ship.
Ship. Okay. So explore. Let's leech off him. You know, I'm gonna stock. I don't want to scout this time. So I want some money.
Okay. Develop.
Develop is me. So there's my 4, and this is the propaganda campaign. So I may reassign 1 or 2 workers to the phase you select. So that's gonna help me out now. And there's that, and then no produce, so back in the cup.
Okay, I am actually going to trade this turn.
Okay.
I could get 3 points, but you know what? I want some money. So a green is going to give me $5, so that's going to move me up to 6.
That's going to help get some dice out, yeah. So manage, I've got 3.
So I'm going to spend 6, so
flip these back over.
Let's go.
Like so.
Right. Well, I'm not impressed with my dice
I
here.
hate that when you're like, oh, I don't want this.
Okay.
You got it?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. So you chose settle. I chose develop.
Yes, settle, develop, and
choose
explore.
Explore.
Which I didn't do.
I didn't do either. So
develop. That works for me.
I'm going to develop all 3 of these. So this is my merchant guild. And what this is going to do is it's on the produce phase. I'm going to get $2 at the end of this phase. I don't have to do anything other than have somebody choose the produce, and I'm going to get $2.
Yeah, that's pretty helpful. I've had that one a couple times.
Those go in my citizenry.
Settle for me. I'm going to do this. So my 5th column goes up here, and I get a military into my cup.
Wow.
So that's good. And no produce and ship back into my thing.
Oh, these 3 go in.
And I get 1.
And I get 1. Let's go ahead and choose that. We reset these.
Oh, yeah. And
okay.
okay.
You chose develop. I chose settle.
And settle, and he's gonna do produce. Cool, that works for me.
That does not work for me.
It works for me.
So develop. I actually chose develop, but I have
things to develop.
nothing to develop. So that's just gonna go back in my cup.
Produce. I'm gonna put this blue one there, and then no shipping. So
settle. I'll put
sorry, you had that.
That's
sorry.
okay. All those are gonna go in my settle, and so I get spend $1. Oops, we forgot to turn these over.
Oh, I did develop.
You did develop, I did settle, and we get ship.
Which doesn't really matter.
No.
Okay, develop. There's mine. Need 1 more.
Okay, so my settle actually is enough to complete this.
Nice.
So,
ooh, that's a 6 too.
That's a 6, and it's going to give me, it says gain $2 and an alien technology good on this world when it is placed. So
nice.
Not only am I going to get $2, I get to put that on there.
Yep, and then no one did ship.
And no one chose produce, so I don't get any money for that.
$1.
I got to remember that.
Oh,
so,
you got $3.
$3. Let's go.
Forget a dice. Woo.
Let's see. Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to
Develop.
do. Oops.
And you did ship.
Come on, explore.
Ha.
Bummer. I was really hoping I'd get an Explore
No,
action.
you didn't. So all those dice could put for you your Explore dice. Develop for me, that is 6. So this one is Galactic Bankers. So it's for the shipping. So each time you trade a good this phase, you can spend $1 to gain a victory point. So there's that. And then that was all I had.
Okay, those two are in use. So
Yep.
I'm actually going to ship, and I'm going to ship this
Yeah, go
yellow
for it.
die. Now,
That's 2.
that is, well,
Are
I
you
know.
shipping or are you... Okay, are you consuming
I'm
or
shipping,
trading?
that's what I'm trying to figure out. I can get $6. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the money.
Okay, that works for me.
Because that's the most. So put 6 up to there.
Okay.
So 2, 4,
Right.
6, 7. So that actually uses all my money.
Oh, you got all the dice
Yeah,
back.
I got all my dice back.
I
so.
have 1. Woo. Ooh, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Okay. I did ship.
I did. Yeah, you just ship.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
What'd you do? Explore?
I did Explore.
And
I
ship.
did ship. Okay.
Cool. So you're
So
first.
I am going to, let's see, what do I want to do? First thing I'm going to do is let's scout,
Okay.
because I need some stuff.
Still.
Oh man, I had all that explore the settle and development, and nobody did anything. So
I had 1 dice.
do
what do you
one
want
at
me
a
to
time. Ooh, kind of like that. Ooh, kind of like that one. I think I'm going to keep that. And so I think I'm going to explore again. So let's see what I got there. Oh man. Yeah, I don't like that. I like that. And then I am going to stock this last one for $2. And you are shipping.
Yep. So the purple helps me with this. So
You're gonna
I'm
get
gonna consume.
So
So
you're
I
gonna
want
get
some points.
3 points.
Yep. So that.
Because the pink or the purple, it matches any
there.
color. So because then you've matched the good, the planet, and
Yep.
the ship thing. So all of these are unused.
I get $1.
I'm gonna get 3, so I'm gonna get all my dice back.
Ready?
Oop, I gotta
I
reset
have a
these.
lot of dice. I can just hear it. Like,
We
oh
always
my
forget to
gosh.
reset these.
I know. It's just kind of weird.
Wowzers. Let's see.
Wowzers.
Wowzers.
Wow.
I got a lot of dice. I think I'm gonna do that.
I think it's gonna rain again.
Okay. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain. All right.
Okay,
so
I did settle.
I did settle.
And
So we
he's
both did
doing-
settle, and he did explore.
That
Which,
didn't help you out at all. You had everything else.
no. So you only had 1 die, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are not going to be used. So all 4 of these are going to go on to there,
I need to get some more dice.
and nobody chose those. So reset again.
Taking one.
Okay. So I chose develop.
Explore. And he did explore. Because I need money.
So you're
So,
stocking.
Yeah, I'm stocking. I need some dice.
Okay, all 3 of mine are going to go on my develop. These 2 are unused. So you can see how the turns play really fast.
Especially when you know what you're doing.
Well, especially when you don't have very many dice to use either.
Mm-hmm. Let's do that. And this and that.
All right. We both chose settle.
And...
You chose
Explore,
explore,
check
which
out the
nobody's
name.
got.
Ooh, okay, it's 3 for that. So my Galactic Resort, which looks like 2 reptiles and a hot tub, gain a novelty good on this world when you place it.
All right. Well, and I had enough. Then
Yeah.
I can place. What is this? This is the designer species unlimited, and it says I gain $1 and a green good on this world when I place it. So there is another $1 and a green good on that world. And so those will all go back to my citizenry. Nobody produced.
Yep.
So
I've got 3 though.
I've got
Blue.
$2. Let's see.
Oh, I didn't reset, did I? I didn't reset from last time. Oops.
You didn't reset.
I didn't reset my money. I was
Oh.
like, wait a minute, I just had $3. I only get 1.
No, okay. I think what I want to do nothing is really going to give me any bonus there. So I was at there too, so I'm going to get those two. I think it's right. Wow.
Oh, I need to do that, and I need to do. What do you do? Let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
So I did settle. We can
You did
leave
settle.
that. And,
Okay.
and
then
ship. Woo, it works for me.
does not work for me.
It does.
I chose develop.
Okay.
Oops.
You didn't do that.
So these two go on my development there, and so I would get that into play. This says, so when develop is called, I get $2 at the end of this phase, including the phase in which you completed this. So I'm going to get $2 just for doing that.
Okay.
And that's another one I got to remember to do.
I know some of these I'm like, wait a minute, I need to do this.
And then this was dictated and nothing, so that goes back.
Settle for me. I'm gonna put those there, and then ship, which works out. So I'm gonna consume. I want victory points, so that's 3 points for me. So 3 there, and I only have $1.
Okay, well I have $3, so let's go like that. Whoa! Oops, gotta reset these.
You're knocking everything
I know,
over
I
there.
am knocking everything over. Just destroyed my tablet.
Yeah, I know you did.
Okay. You all done?
Yeah, I'm ready. There's him.
I chose ship. Good. He chose produce.
I did
Thank you
settle,
for helping.
and you did ship. No, there's
Oh.
no explore.
Oh, I thought. Okay. You said settle. Sorry.
Yeah, settle. Not.
Okay. So you are settling.
Settling. Boom.
Okay. Because he chose produce, I am going to produce there and
Dang it.
there
I wish that was last turn.
and there.
I would have got $1.
Now I'm going to ship. I'm going to actually consume there, and I'm going to get 3 points for that. So.
Okay. That works out. And I have $1.
Well, I have $1 left, so we roll. Don't really know why. Whoops, we gotta flip these back over.
Got it. Roll for him.
He chose explore.
Settle.
You chose settle. I chose ship.
Cool. No exploring. Settle. That.
And my ship, I'm going to consume.
Yep.
Green, green, green. So that's gonna be 3 more points.
Yep. We're getting there.
Yep.
And $1
I
for
have
me.
$1.
Swap those in for the 5.
Okay.
That way we actually can see better.
Let's reset these. And we have 1. I don't really know why I'm doing that, but.
Because you have to.
Okay,
Settle.
he chose explore, which.
And you did ship
matter.
again?
I did ship.
Okay. So I need 1 more dice for that. That's a 6. I need that.
Now I want to point out, when you trade, if you have a different color on that planet, so like this has a white, by trade you go by the planet color, not the die.
Yeah.
But
It helps if you have the die.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to, I could get 2 points.
2 points is 2 points. You're getting down to it.
I know, but I need money. So
Okay, then take the money.
so that's actually going to give me $4
Yeah.
by trading that. So it moves me up to 5.
Okay.
And
I have
let's
$1.
see which. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think it's obvious what I'm going to go for. That helps you out.
Well, not really, because I don't have any. Although I guess I could. I could get some planets
If
there.
you start exploring, yeah.
So,
We're bad at this.
Yeah, we are. Okay.
We're just not used to doing that. I'm ready if you are.
Not yet.
Come on.
I'm still working.
You don't have that many dice, do you?
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So knowing you were going to do that.
Yeah.
So, oh man.
He
Well, it
did
doesn't matter because that's the
explore.
only thing I chose.
It was
So-
obvious what I was doing.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use that and I'm going to scout. So
Okay.
reach in the magic bag here and
Is it a magic bag?
I don't know. Let's see, do I like that?
Is it bigger on the inside?
I think I'll go ahead and I'm going to place that there. I'm going to use this next one, and I'm going to scout as well.
Really?
Yeah.
You're hoping.
I am hoping, and that'll go on the bottom there.
And then are you stocking?
And then I am going to stock that last one for
I'm
$2.
Smart. Okay, there's my 6, so I can finally settle this sucker. The Lost Alien Battle Fleet. So I gained $3. So, whoop. And an alien tech into my cup when I place this world, and that's another 6. So I got 3 6s on my
Yeah, I
board.
noticed that. That is going to be killer.
I was waiting. I was like, I need that one.
One of the things we didn't mention, when you do an explore action, when you're scouting, if you don't like one of the developments or the planets that you have, you can actually place that underneath the phase 1 marker, and you get to pull 1 extra tile out. So say if I didn't like this world here, when I chose explore, I could put that under here, pull 2 tiles out, and then figure out I get to keep both of them.
But, I've got $4.
so,
I can get dice.
Oh, so those 2. Whoops, I forgot to do my phase there. So, and then
I
I've
have
got
dice again.
$3. So let's go ahead and let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Ooh. I've got 1 of everything. Yay. Let's do that.
Okay. So, oh, thank you.
Oh.
You chose explore. He chose development, and I chose settle.
That works for me. Cool.
Okay, so
I am going to scout.
I'm just gonna stock.
Okay, let's take this one. Let's do that, and then so that's that, and then settle. I'm gonna just do that because I'm leeching.
All of these go here,
producing
and this actually is completed, so those will go back in my citizenry. And this is the silicon world, where they make implants, I guess. Gain $1 and a rare element good on this world when I place it. So.
Did you really just say that?
So did I reset this guy last turn? I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. So I'm going to gain $1, and I am going to put that there, and that will give me a brown die on that world. Okay, so now I got $2 to spend.
I got mine. Got $2.
I got $2. Oops, we didn't reset these. Once again.
Yeah.
We both chose settle.
He did produce.
Okay, now I got to remember because one of my things here allows me to do something on produce.
Yeah. Well, here's my settle. You got settle on.
I got settle, so those 2 are going to go there. So,
this guy goes
so since let's see which one had the produce on there. Produce in here, right here, the Merchant Guild. $2 at the end of this phase, so I'm going to get $2. Woohoo.
That's good.
I know. I gotta remember those. I'm
blue.
very bad about remembering those.
I need some blue. I could have got $1 for it, but. Oop.
Okay, so that's gonna get me 3 dice. So let's just choose those 3. Oops, yep.
I
Reset
got it.
those.
I got it. Whoa. I don't want that.
So we both chose settle, and he chose settle. Wow, I think we're going to settle this turn.
Yeah, so...
Actually, I screwed up. I didn't need to put that many down.
I'm settling this, so this is the...
Doesn't matter, though, for me.
Armaments world. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Armaments,
so
yeah.
I gain $1, and then a rare element on this world when I place it.
Okay, so that settlement is done, and this is the planetary nebula. So I'm going to gain a rare element on this world when I place it. So put that there, and... Huh?
Why didn't you put it there?
Oh, I guess I could.
Make it even.
Okay, I'll put it there. Didn't want to
Don't
crowd you, all right?
Don't mess up my OCD.
Okay. These 2 go back because they're unused. I have $1. Wow. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 10.
I have 11.
Yeah, oh, so you only need 1 more. Okay,
Yeah.
so I bet I know what you're going to be doing.
I just looked at that. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I've got 2 money.
Okay.
Taking those tech. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Oops. That was this. I want to win.
There we go. Oops.
I did explore.
You did explore. I did
He
ship.
did settle. Oh, that shipping helps me.
So, the explore helps me.
I'm
gonna stock.
I'm scout. Don't listen to that. Oh, that's 6. Can I make 6? Let's try to make 6. No one did develop, so those go back in here. No one's settling. Shipping, I'm going to leech off you. So I'm going to
ship this, and that's going to give you 2 points.
This gives me 2 points if I consume. Did you consume or you consumed? Yeah.
I consumed, yeah.
Okay, and then I'm taking this
so
one.
So $3. Let's see.
I have a lot of dice. I'm like citizenry.
You should have a lot of dice.
Ooh, hoo hoo hoo. I like that.
Okay. Yeah, we keep forgetting this.
I did develop.
You did develop?
I did develop. He did produce.
And I did ship.
Okay. So all the ones that weren't flipped.
Yeah.
So 3 here, and I need 3 more for that sucker. So, woo.
Okay, my galactic investor says $2 the end of the phase for develop, including the phase in which I did that. So you chose develop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you flipped it.
I just flipped it back.
So
I'm gonna get. You need that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get $2.
Oh, I didn't know you had to develop.
Yeah, that one gives me $2.
That one.
So then I'm going to ship. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to consume this. That's going to get me 3, and that is the end of the victory points. And then I'm also going to ship this, and it's going to give me another 2 victory points. So I need to get, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So trade that in for 10, and then get the 2 for that. So 2 there. So now, since we're out of the victory points, that triggers the end of game.
But we still have to manage in order.
That is true. We do have to manage.
So
this
that can help with the tiebreaker.
That is true. I forgot. So
I
that's going to go back in my cup.
That doesn't matter. Recall.
I have 3, so that's going to put 3 back in my cup, just in case there's a tie.
I'm going to recall because I know I can't do that anyway. So
that's
I'm recalling those. Reset, we've done, and the check end game has been triggered. So now let's tally up the points.
Okay, that was a really good game. I ended up with 53 points. Megan, you had 44.
No, I thought I had you with all my 6s.
Well, I think the thing that hurt you is you had these 2 there that were 0s.
Yeah.
And that's how you started off, so you really couldn't help that.
But you had victory points. You had more victory points than I did.
Yeah, I had 18 in victory points because I was lucky I was doing all that trading. Or the consuming, I mean.
I probably should have started trading. Oh. No, I didn't trade, that's why.
Yeah.
I didn't get those. And then I couldn't get that one up. That would have helped.
What was this one? What did that give you?
That one was for producing if I had a blue on a world, and I never did every time that came up.
Gotcha.
Never had it.
Yeah, I got helped because I had a couple things that gave me some money, which there for a while I was hurting on getting dice. So
yeah, well, I was too, but
so
yeah.
Let's get into what we think about this game. All right, I'm going to go first this time. Okay. You know, we played Elysium earlier in this year, and I had said that at that time that was my game of the year. This, I think, might have nudged that out. This is awesome. I was never really a fan of Race for the Galaxy. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because, you know, you're paying for everything with cards, and it just, I don't know. There was just something about Race I didn't really like. It was okay, and if somebody asked me to play it, I'd play it, but it's not one I'm going to say, hey, let's play Race. This one, I will shove in your face and say, let's play Roll for the Galaxy. I love this game. I love everything about it. The components, the artwork, just the gameplay in general, I like. And I like dice. I'm very partial to dice games. So, Megan, what do you think?
I really like this game. It has really good components, like you said. I love the artwork on all of this. I think it's so cool. Like, especially on this one, just like the little alien people. They're really cool looking. Like, all the cards are very unique and they go very nicely with all the titles that you have with them.
I mean, the kind of like, because it is a space theme. Like that one's really cool, and then that other, this one here that you've got.
Yeah, I know that one's cool too.
That one looks really neat. The Gateway Station.
I like this one because it's purple and pretty. But I mean,
and
I'll go back to my purple liking color.
And these tiles, I mean, that is really thick cardboard. I mean, it's very thick, very nice. All the components are nice. The dice are really cool, and they give you a ton of dice. We've got these in little containers, but you can see these are the dice we didn't use, and we still have a ton. But I think you can play up to 5 players with this. So
I mean, we normally vary around 11 to 13 dice a game
for
both
like
of
that.
us.
And I will say that we have been kind of back and forth. I'll win a game, you'll win a game, I'll win a game.
Yeah.
It just so happens to be that, of course, when the camera rolls, Dad wins. So.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that...
you jinx it somehow with that.
You really? Well,
yeah.
I try not to. So I think that'll do it for this. Once again, thanks to Rio Grande Games for sending this. And this is going to be definitely one that we play quite a bit of, I think.
Yeah.
And that's about all I can say.
Yeah.
So
see you next time. Bye. Like and follow us on Facebook to stay current on our show schedule, sneak peeks at future shows, and to interact with us.